What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay and the Shark, man. We back. It's Tuesday. Only 3 games on the card, but we're gonna break them down, get to some free picks, and try to get to some cash. Obviously, I'm your host. This is my guy, co-host, Sharks and Sports 88. What's up with you, Shark? Everything cool with you?
Absolutely. Taking a breath. Beautiful Tuesday morning, 11:01 Eastern, 9:01 Mountain Time. Jay Money in the mountains behind him. Inform me it's snowing outside. I think that's a nice little cleansing of the atmosphere. Cool weather in Pennsylvania. 3 games on the card. A lot to talk about. I told people we're talking statistics today, so get your notepads ready. Let's get in there. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk some games, guys. As always, it's free picks, man. Every single day we're back. No matter what happened the day before, we're still back, man. We love to do it for you guys. Please hit the like button and subscribe as well, my guys. Let's get over here to the first game up, man. We're going over here to the streets of Detroit here, Shark. We got the Pistons getting 5 points versus the New York Knicks in this one, my guy. How you looking at this game, my brother? You got a top play in this game.
I do. On a suddenly not so casual Tuesday morning, November 29th, 2022. The buy hat is engaged. A lot going on in this game, and I started going through this last night, and I really liked what I was looking at. First point in this game, you get a generational buy on Detroit. The Detroit Pistons, and we know this, have been lackluster for a long time, and they've been specifically lackluster against the New York Knicks. 10x revenge game. And I think this is trending towards Detroit here. It's certainly trending towards them numerically, and it's identical to what happened last year. I went 3-0 betting this matchup last year, and you go back through it. We'll go back through it for a half second. We got some time here on this 3-game card. New York Knicks last year in the opener did win at Madison Square Garden, 105-91 on a 7.5. On the road, it came up to 8.5. It was sharp. Knicks did cover it by a hook. 94-85 in December. A little bit later on, Knicks in the same gym on the road in Detroit came down to 4.5 and did win but not cover 104-102. And what's happening this year? Almost the exact same thing. First matchup this year, Knicks home on a 7.5 blowout win, 130-106. And you go through that game, that was a 3-point discrepancy point at its finest. Detroit was 9 for 36 from 3, and the Knicks went off and channeled their inner Boston Celtic flow point, 16 for 38 from 3. Then it came back home. Knicks did come up, same thing as last year at home this one, to 8.5, 9, 121-112. Now you get 8.5 home, comes down to open at 3.5. It's getting steamed up. We're at 5 now. And, Jay, there's a lot going on with the Knicks here. The Knicks are in a real funky sandwich spot. The Knicks have a revenge game against Milwaukee at home tomorrow night. They've played 7 straight games against the West. Now they play a one-off in Detroit, a 2x revenge game on a short line, and they get the big game tomorrow. Detroit's been great at home. The last time Detroit lost to Cleveland, it didn't cover, which is what they did in the last game. They did come back in the next game and win outright and cover the number against Oklahoma City. And the Knicks are 0-2 ATS on the road within the Central. Non-cover at Cleveland, non-cover at Milwaukee. All numbers, all narratives. It's going to be tight. Knicks should win this game tonight by under 5 points. Buy hat engaged. We're on it at +5, 1 unit.
Yeah, it's a good point. You make some good points there, Shark, especially with them having Milwaukee on deck. I mean, you get the ultimate look-ahead spot there. I'll tell you right now, man, it's crazy because, Shark, the span that you took the Pistons like 7 straight times last year and cashed, that's how they're playing right now. It doesn't matter. Their best player by far, Bogdanovich, is banged up right now. They don't really have a center. I mean, other than Jalen Duren, the rookie, but obviously their starting center, somewhat Isaiah Stewart, he's banged up. So a ton of injuries on the Pistons. It doesn't matter, guys. These young guys are coming out there balling hard, they're playing hard, and what we always say as well, for the guys that don't have the big contracts, they're playing for their big contracts, right? So you have more motivation over guys getting paid $40 million a year because you want that. You're only getting paid a few $100,000. You see what I'm saying? So Pistons have all the motivation. You got to give Dwayne Case some coaching, some coach of the year, something, man, because God coaches the guys up. No matter who's out there, he has them playing hard. I like the look, Charlie. The only way I can look in this game is the Pistons. I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks lost this game outright, to be honest with you. Their defense is ass. They might be missing quickly off the bench as well. When you look at the possible look ahead for the Knicks here to the Bucks, just makes it all the more better here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Pistons won this game outright, my guys. Let's go over here to the next game, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Dallas here. We got the Mavs getting 1.5 points at the house versus the Warriors here, Shark. Warriors starting to catch steam on the road here. Do you think they can keep it going here in Dallas?
Yes, I do. And this is where I really wanted to center the statistical conversation, because everybody in the world here wants to buy Dallas in the revenge spot from the Western Conference Finals. And that is, of course, an incredibly meritable point, and I like it. And I started going through it last night, and I really decided, okay, Shark, get back to your roots. Take the names off the jerseys and look at the numbers and where these teams are. And the most standout point for me in this game is purely the fact that the Dubs did start this campaign 0-10 ATS on the road. And when you think statistically, when the champions go 0-10 without a whole lot of roster changes, they should cluster the other direction hard. And since they went 0-10, they are now 2-1 straight up, last 3 on the road. They're coming off their first road cover. And you look at the other side of this game, you look at Dallas. Jay, you know it very well, and we've discussed it on air. Dallas has been consistently lackluster this year. They haven't really had a lot of bright spots. They're just playing lackadaisical, uninspired ball. They're 9-10 straight up. And frankly, I think this is just a mentality of the group. I think Dallas is going to go on a tear maybe in late December or January, and I don't think it comes here. And again, emphasizing this point, when the Dubs go 0-10, they should cluster so aggressively the other direction. Dallas has a funky home environment. Dallas is 8-3 straight up at home. So they've been good, but they're 3-8 ATS. And that's a very interesting point. When you see teams that go 8-3 straight up, but are the polar opposite from the cover point, it basically means what I just said with the narrative. They're just damn lackluster. And when you look at this line functionality last year, books missed 3 straight games between these teams in the regular season. And I do want to make this point. You have to throw out the playoffs. Playoff line scaling and functionality when they play every single game is completely different. And my guy, Johnny Stelmar, great follower. We appreciate the conversation. Had actually put this on Twitter. Look at the last game. It was 6.5. You throw that out. You can't scale the playoffs versus the regular season. And you start to go through this. When books miss 3 in a row, books had Dubs minus 4.5 at Dallas. Dallas hammered them by 17. Then books had Golden State short home 3.5, and they beat them blowout 130-92. And then they had the Dubs again at 4 home, and the Dubs melted the game. You probably remember this, Jay. 33-13 Dallas in the fourth quarter. And finally, in the fourth matchup last year, books did get it right. Dallas minus 2 at home, 122-113. And that's the cross-referencing point. The last regular season game, Dallas at minus 2 home, won by 9. Now they move this against at a pick'em. I think the Dubs are catching wind, and I really just think Dallas is lackluster here. We're on it at the money line, 118. It has gotten steamed. You can take 1, 1.5, should be fine as well. An opportunity to dominate one unit official.
Yeah, I don't have anything on this game. The playoff revenge angle is something that I don't bet against. It's a peak motivation spot here for the Mavs. They've been very lackluster. I don't have money on them. They are 113-1 against the spread. Last 15 games, absolutely lackluster. This is a turn-up spot. The Mavs have lost back-to-back national TV games. This would be a 3rd straight loss on national TV. Personally, I don't see it happening here, guys. I think the Mavs could dig deep here and really show something here versus the Dubs. Dubs still not playing championship defense. They do try to beat you with shooting. Mavs aren't playing great defense right now. They do get Reggie Bullock back in the lineup today. They can play some defense. It's all about wanting to. So I still like the game that they had versus the Bucks. They were losing their game by 16, 17 points. Came all the way back to make it a 6-9-point game late, and that was on the back-to-back here. So Mavs coming back home off of a little road trip where they were terrible. I'd still lean Mavs here. If I had a free play on this game, I'd be taking the Mavs plus the points full game. This could be a trifecta spot for the Mavs. I'd be leaning towards their way early and often in this one, guys. So, fortunately, a little bit of disagreement here. But me personally, the playoff revenge, that's the only thing that I can look at. You got kicked out of the Western Conference Finals by this team. Doesn't matter how lackluster you've been, you're going to want to turn up in this spot right here, guys. So, only way I can look is Mavs. Not enough to bet. They have not in good form right now. Shark makes some good points. The Warriors are in better form right now. They are to come up on the road, but this is a single game here where I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavs treated this game like it was an NBA Finals game here, guys. Don't be surprised if Luka goes off in this one. I could see the over 2.5 threes hidden. I could see a defensive game as well. This actually could be a game that might go under, and you see some championship-style defense. Can't wait to watch this game. Maybe make a live bet or something here, but Mavs, the only way that I could look in this game, my guys. Last game up here, Shark. Let's go over here to the streets of Portland here, guys. We got the Blazers laying 3.5 points versus the Clippers here. Dead zone type of spot for the Blazers here. First game back home off of a road trip, right? Then they go right back out on the road. I'm not sure what the schedule makers do sometimes. They go right back out on the road a couple games after this. Clippers missing a ton of offense. You wonder if they're looking ahead to tomorrow's game. When you're resting John Wall in the first half of back-to-back, you could definitely be looking ahead to tomorrow's game in Utah. I'll be honest with you. I did the podcast last night for Action Network. This total is at 217. I gave a recommendation on the under. It's down to 211.5 here, guys. So the only play I would have had today was the under in this game. It's steamed too far. 5.5, 6 points. Seems like it's the right direction here, Shark. How you looking at this game?
Buy hat engaged. We're staying the course of action here and taking Portland at -3.5, 1 unit. And going through this, I think, again, you're looking at a statistical buy. And I had looked at this as a dead zone spot as well. And we talk about this. Any team, doesn't matter if it's the Blazers or any of the other 29 teams, come off a road trip. You got one home game and you go back on the road. But here's where I'm centering on tonight's game being the bigger environment for them and not tomorrow at the Lakers. They've already beaten the Lakers this year, 106-104. They're coming in here off a 2x revenge game against the Clippers. And very important stuff for the Clippers. Clippers do not have Paul George tonight. I'm almost positive of that based on injury reports, which, of course, do change every 3 seconds across this globe. But I believe he's not in there. And if you go through their calendar, the Clippers are 0-2 ATS on the road without Paul George. They did get hammered at the Dubs, and early season they did get hammered at Oklahoma City. The Clippers have not been very good on the road. And if you look at Portland, again, I try to keep saying this. Yes, we've lost some wagers with Portland. I'm not going to sit here and let the past dictate the present, because when a team did let us down, now they should actually bounce back for us. So I'm not going to run away from it right when it gets good. And you do start to look at this. Portland has lost 5 out of 6. Portland is 0-4 last 4 ATS at home. Portland is playing without Damian Lillard. Portland should turn up here tonight. And one final point, going through the regular season line functionality last year, it's very, very clean stuff. Jay, we actually went 3-0 betting these matchups last year in the regular season. For early season last year, Clippers did hammer them at home on a 2.5. 116.86. It came back to Portland at home 3.5. That's a 6 gap strong. Portland hammered them 111.92. Then it came back again. Clippers 6.5 gap at home. Another cover 117.109. And the first time the road team was favored last year in the finale, Clippers came up to a strong road 4.5. and did win by 12, 102-90. So the most recent matchup, Clippers at Portland, win by 12, 4.5. This comes all the way over to Portland -2. It's a reverse gap 6, steamed up 3.5. Portland should show up tonight. Jeremy Grant is playing the best ball of his career. Anthony Simons can ball the hell out. A lot of the futility we've seen from Portland at home recently is specifically against the Eastern Conference. They should get back in their flow tonight against a team without Paul George, who does not function well on the road. 2x revenge game, 1 unit, -3.5.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off here, Shark. It's a tough game for me to bet here. Both teams in somewhat funky spots, in my opinion. So this is I hate playing totals, but this is one where I would probably look towards the under. Even though it opened up at 217, I do agree with the steam coming down. This could be a real ugly type of game here. I'll be honest with you. I hate the spot for both teams, and that would lead me to an under game in this one. I could see both team total unders here. See more defense than offense in this one, my guys. A ton of tired legs in this one as well, my guys. That's the card, man. 3 games up. Now let's talk about some shirts real quick, man. Let's talk about some shirts, man. We got $10 off shirts, Jay and Shark shirts, only $15 over at the website, jmoneyismoney.com. Also have Smack City shirts, Us Against the Bookies, and Let's Get Some Cash here, Shark. What you liking on tonight's card, my brother?
3 top plays, 9 words of lifestyle. Ride the wave out of the water. And I want to make this point. There's counterpoints to every NBA game. I go through them. People, of course, don't want to hear me say this, but maybe you do. I was apprehensive as a person capping the first month of the season. When I started to go back through my records and I saw how many games I laid off of that won, I said to myself, I'm not laying off the good numbers anymore. So, yes, I know it's a tough travel spot for the Blazers. Yes, I know Dallas has playoff revenge. The numbers are spot on to all these environments. And we're on Detroit at +5, 1 unit. We're on Dubs money line. I wouldn't talk you off -1. And we're on Portland -3.5, 1 unit. And Jay, I wanted to just make one final point on that Dallas game. Dallas has played 2 great basketball games this year. They played a great home game against Memphis, and they played a great home game against Denver. Key point here, though, both of those games, the number was moving towards Dallas. That was a heavy Dallas number against Memphis, and it was a heavy Dallas number against Denver. This is a line move towards Golden State. It's telling you a Golden State story. That's why I'm on it. I'm trusting the numbers, trusting the narratives, and I'm trusting us to dominate this season. All respect and love, Jay. You're the man. I love doing this with you every day. Positive energy to the chat. Close them out, and let's fucking go.
Yeah, sure. You always go with your gut, bro. You don't have to explain yourself to me, my guy. If you like a play, go with your play. I always say this as well, guys. The final score is the only thing that matters. We can get up here and explain all we want. The only thing that matters is the final score. We're trying to cash. There's no competition between amongst us, each other. We're all trying to cash versus our bookie, guys. So I don't have a bet on any game today. I hope you cash all 3 of them. Start for the channel, for yourself. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to prove it to me. I hope you cash, my guys. But my note to everybody, bet whatever you absolutely love, guys. Don't let anyone talk you out of your play. Go with what you know. Sometimes you have to do your own research, right? But you'll sleep better at night going with what you feel better with playing, guys. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to argue with anyone at your play as well. Simply go with what you know, put your money on it, and I hope you cash, guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe. It's Us Against the Bookies, my guys. Let's get some cash. I hope you're happy. I hope you're living your life to the fullest, my guys. We will win. We back tomorrow with more picks. We out, my guys. It's cash.